Alright guys, welcome back to the channel, welcome back to another video. Of course, the Golden Week banners did indeed drop this morning, so your boy's back with another Should You Summon. And of course, with the Goku and Kid Buu recently just leaving global, that means they weren't going to be on the global side of the banners. That was kind of a given, that was obvious. So the Kid Buu's been replaced by Super Vegeta, and on Cell's banner, the Goku has been replaced by Kale and Caulifla. So immediately, there's a bit of a diminish in value on Cell's banner, and then there's kind of like a toss-up between Cell and Kid Buu, but still, Super Vegeta is one of the best TURs in the game. So, in terms of the units themselves, they are both very good. The Goku portion of this unit is pretty good, but your main thing is, of course, you want to be getting Gohan out straight away. You know, you want to be getting that additional attack plus 58%, raising your defense up to 100% the more HP remaining, getting the extra defense when your guard is active, getting the extra attack and defense plus 58% as well, starting from the turn in which guard is activated a fourth time. And then not only that, he guards all attacks starting from the turn in which guard is activated for the sixth time in battle. And then he has a great chance, which is a 70% chance, of evading enemies' Ki Blast super attacks and countering with ferocious power, which is actually a new power scaling. So his counters are going to do probably a hell of a lot of damage. So both units are very, very good. That's Gohan, of course. Cell, in my opinion, is probably going to be one of the better aging 55% units in the game. I mean, immediately, he's already putting out some very good numbers, and he's already pretty decent defensively. You know, he has the chance of crit and evade, and then if you have 50% or more HP, he will have a built-in additional. Second form is when things really start to get juicy, and he's putting out some impressive numbers, there we go, both offensively and defensively, still getting that chance to crit and evade and have the built-in additional. And then when you get to Perfect, who I've actually seen the numbers, some of the numbers he can put out rainbowed with support. You're looking at like, or maybe not support, I can't remember, but you are looking at around about 9 million and some really high defense. I can't remember the number, but it is ridiculously high. You know, getting an attack and defense plus 250 at the start of the turn is great, and an attack and defense plus 50% on super is really nice. Still got that crit chance and evade chance, which is now at 35%, which is why I do say he's probably going to be one of the better aging 55% units in the game. And then he still has that built-in additional if you have 50% or more HP. So it's looking good for him. He literally can do a piece of everything from the Duke system, which is great. As I said, his numbers in terms of offensively and defensively are really nice. Both units, transformation and exchange conditions are really good, especially Cell's. And Cell is also very nicely built for both shorter and longer events. You know, they're good for shorter events, or he's good for shorter events, because a lot of his bonuses come from facing 2 or more enemies, even in second form as well, until he gets to Perfect, where it kind of fits in with you being a longer event, because by the time Cell comes out, you know, you're going to be past that typical kind of, you know, turn mark in a battle or a phase of Super Battle Road, where you should be wrapping up the battle, which is like turn 5. So by the time Perfect Cell comes out, you know, it kind of suits the way he operates, if you will, if you were doing Super Battle Road, or if you're in a longer event like Goku or Vegeta event, or if you're on JP, of course, Ultimate Red Zone. So both units are very, very good. No doubt about that, no question. In terms of the actual banners, again, the change of Kid Buu and Goku. The Goku especially on Cell's banner is definitely, you know, there's some obviously clear disparity. The banners aren't too bad. You know, you have the Dokkan Fest, who are both really good. This Vegeta is also a very good side banner unit. I've already mentioned Super Vegeta is one of the best TURs in the game. Videl is really good. I know there's a lot of you know, Videl stands out there, but she is very limited when it comes to where you can use her in categories. Pycon, meaty. This Buu is still pretty good, but he does take a while to get going. This Gohan's okay, but he's aged, and the same with Cell as well. And then if you go over to Cell's banner, these two aren't great. Cell's amazing. These two, don't get me wrong, I know there's a lot of people that hate on these. In a longer event, they are really, really good. Really, really good. In a shorter event, not the greatest, but once they transform, they do really get going. But in base, they're nothing special. So they're not as bad as people make out. This Janemba, while his passive is, or what his passive contains, is really nice, the way he's constructed is just terrible. This Gotenks is pretty good, especially with dupes. Ultimate Gohan is still one of the best TURs in the game. And then 13's aged quite a bit. And also, this LR Gohan has aged quite a bit as well, but I do think he's still quite usable. but he is still definitely aged. So there is definitely some value in both banners. The banners aren't that great, if I'm being completely honest. Like, there's some good units on there, like Cell's one would be Cell. Kale and Cauliflower are okay, that Gotenks is pretty good. Ultimate Gohan's good, and LR Gohan's okay, you know, depending on how your own box is looking for, if you have a unit or dupes, you know, that's going to change and vary on the individual. In terms of Goku and Gohan's, the Vegeta is actually pretty good. Of course, you have the marquee Dokkan Fest themselves. Super Vegeta is one of the best TURs in the game. Videl's amazing, but she's very limited. Again, this guy is meaty. This Boots just takes a while to get going, and then these two are okay. So there's probably slightly more value on Goku's banner immediately compared to Cell's, but still, it's nothing insane. And if you are missing any of these units, then you can just pick them up with coins on either or banner, you know, if you do have enough coins to pick up one of these units that you really do want. But apart from Super Vegeta and maybe like Videl or Ultimate Gohan, none of these units are really worth picking up with coins. Even Videl, I think the main two you would want to pick up with coins is probably maybe Kale and Cauliflower, but probably not. Again, I know a lot of people really don't like them. The main ones would be Super Vegeta and Ultimate Gohan if you're missing those units with coins, which, you know, I could understand picking them up. You know, if you're not going to summon, definitely pick one of them up with coins if you don't have them at all. But if you're wanting to save your coins for, like, you know, if you don't have the SSJ2 Transforming Goku is a good one, Kid Buu, you know, some units you've missed in the past who are really good, who are coming back in a few months' time, then the best bet is probably saving your coins. But, you know, they're the two that actually contain some value to actually pick up with coins. One of the major flaws of actually both the Goku or Goku and Gohan and the Cell is their 200% lead. Right now on Global, we are prematurely, you know, in the 200% lead meta. We have started early, you know, we're going to get a bunch of 200% leads before the year 7 anniversary actually comes out. So we have nowhere to actually use the 200% leaders in the game, but it's nice to have them prepped, especially if they're really good, which obviously these two are. However, both their leader skills, which I should have probably left these open, both their 200 leader skills specifically aren't that great. So Cell's is definitely better than the Goku and Gohan's, just because, you know, when it comes to the 200% leads, when it comes to his one specifically, Android/Cell Saga and androids, and then power absorption and androids, there's a lot more variety, there's a lot more options. You know, if you're missing a few units, you actually have some decent alternatives. If you combine both of these together, even though it's not the most fleshed out category, you know, 200% lead category or 200% lead, you know, you could combine these two together and they work well together and there's synergy there because they're pretty much all android units. Still not the best 200% lead though. However, when it does come to Goku and Gohan's as a 170, and I already stated a whole video on this, I mean, it's literally like right here. When it comes to their 170 lead, the Super Saiyan Goku's family portion as a 170 is really good. But when it comes to the 200% lead specifically, Super Saiyan's and Android/Cell Saga or Goku's family and Android/Cell Saga isn't great. Specifically, Super Saiyan's and Android/Cell Saga, there are some good units on that category. You know, you have the likes of Super Vegeta, Easy A Future Gohan, Easy A LR Trunks, the LR Gohan himself, you know, Easy A Prime Battle LR Trunks, you know, units like that, Heart Virus Goku. If you have the Dokkan Fest transforming Trunks, he's there. But there's about 8 to 10 units. You do not have a lot of wiggle room if you are missing some of those key units. That's when you have to start looking into the free-to-play options, which, you know, for longer events, the Super Saiyan Exchange Goku and Gohan are still okay. You know, you also have the Yard Rat Easy A Goku, who's still pretty good. But when it comes to, like, Red Zone, eventually, when we do get on Global, because that isn't that far away, you're not going to be taking them on a 200% lead. And you might not even take some of them when it comes to, like, Goku and Vegeta event. So once you get past those, like, 8 to 10 units, you do not have hardly any options at all. So, for example, if you didn't summon for Trunks, maybe you're missing, like, 1 or 2 units there. It's going to be really hard to actually make a very good team. But don't get me wrong, as I've already said, there are some pretty good units on the team anyway. But unfortunately, when the category is that small, and, you know, again, if you're missing options, the category is probably not going to be performing so well. But as individual units, they're pretty good. And then Goku's family and Android/Cell Saga, that is literally probably one of the most tiniest categories for 200% you're ever going to see. Even if you combine both of them together and run a team under both 200% leads, yes, they will link well together because they're Super Saiyan and Goku's family units, but the problem is it only really adds one extra unit, which is the LR in Easy A Gohan, who isn't that great if we're being completely honest. So even that isn't going to help this category. As I said, Super Saiyans or Goku's family as a 170 is great. Like, it's good. But the 200% lead as a whole, yeah, it's nothing special. If only Dokkan actually made it this way, like keep all 3 categories, but just swap the 30% part with either Super Saiyan or Goku's family, because then you could have a Super Saiyan Goku family 200% lead team, which is an abundance of options and a hell of a lot easier to make a team. I don't know why they didn't do that, it's kind of strange, but that would have been a hell of a lot better than deciding to do what they did here, which is really kind of hurt the category a lot. That's one of the major flaws for both units, especially for the Goku and Gohan. But even then, as I said, the banner value, there's some value there, it's not great. As I said, the main ones that really contain any value is this guy, and then the Super Vegeta, so if you're missing them, just pick them up with coins. But global players, you should be saving for the 7-year anniversary. I have to say it every single time. Not only is it one of the hypest celebrations, because it's an anniversary, you have 2 of the best units in the entire game. Both units are going to help you massively when Red Zone come out. Not only that, the EZAs that come with them, LRSSJ4s work really well with the LRSSJ4s from Year 7 as well. Not only that, the EZA Super Saiyan God Goku, the tech one from the DBS Broly movie, is one of the best EZAs in the game and is going to help you beat the Broly Red Zone stage as well, and also works really well with the LR Gods. So there's that. Not only that, they have some of the best banners there is. You know, you have LRUI Goku come back, SSBE, LRSSJ4s, Goku and Vegeta. All those type of units are going to be back, and way more value than there is here. Not to mention you have the 2 Dokkan Fest themselves, who I've already spoke about of being the best units in the game, with some of the best animations, best 200% leads. It's all there. So if there is value for the banners, or you just really want the Gohan or the Cell, then I say your best bet, especially on global, considering there is discounts of, I think, 35, 45, no, 35, 40, and 45 stone summons, and then a free one, which is 120 stones in total. Your best bet is, if you, regardless if there's value on the banner or you really want the Dokkan Fest, if you're gonna summon regardless, just do the rotation of 120 stones, and whatever you get, you dip out. If you have some more stones and you're like, yeah, that's fine, because by the time the anniversary comes around, I'm going to have loads and loads and loads, like well over 1,000, you know, I can afford to, you know, spend a little extra stones. Do both rotations of 120 and dip out with whatever you get, and then just save the rest of your stones when it comes to the anniversary. Make sure you have some stones saved for the anniversary, because you should have been saving before this anyway. So, as I said, if you are going to summon, just do the discounted rotations and dip out, because as I said, there's not that much value in either banner anyway, and you know, you can just pick them up with coins, but maybe you want to save them. Do the rotations, do the discounted rotations. If you have enough stones to do both and have a decent amount left over, then do that. But just do the discounted ones if you're going to summon, and dip out. So that's my opinion. Do let me know if you're going to summon down in the comments, and if you already have, do let me know what you've pulled. And I'll see you next video, guys, and push!